So there's a lot of noise going on around the internet about trade careers. You go to one part of the internet, they say that trades suck because it's backbreaking work. Then you go to Reddit and suddenly everyone is obsessed with the trades, telling you to become a plumber or an HVAC technician. While others say trades are better because you don't need to go 300K in debt like I did for my pharmacy degree. Now, as with most things on the internet, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. And I truly do believe that after doing a ton of research, the trades are making a serious comeback. But let me be clear, only some trades are worth your time in 2025. Now, in recent years, college has basically become the new high school diploma. Everyone has one, which means they're worth less than ever. And a long time ago, there was a shortage of people with degrees. So if you got one, it was pretty much guaranteed that you get a job. It's pretty simple, supply and demand. And now we've got an excess of people with degrees and they're not nearly as coveted by employers. Meanwhile, we have an entire generation of guys who can't even change a tire, let alone wire a house or fix an AC unit. And there was already a massive amount of demand for skills trades workers, but due to recent events and the border basically getting shut down to make it harder to cross the border, there's going to be even more of a shortage. And this shift has created a massive opportunity in the trades. There's a huge shortage of skilled workers while the demand keeps growing. Now, I did a deep dive into the trades like 4 years back, and the landscape has changed dramatically since then. So some trades are paying way more, and others have new opportunities because of technological shifts, and a few new trades have emerged that weren't even on my radar 5 years ago. So I spent the last few months researching the latest data, talking to people in these fields, and analyzing which trades actually offer the best opportunities in 2025, and that's what this video is going to be all about. So if you appreciate me doing this research for you, go ahead and gently tap that like button because we are going to be dropping some amazing trade careers in this video. But before we dive in, I want to tell you about two things with perfect timing. First of all, my brother Zach owns a 7-figure HVAC business. HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and he's helped a ton of people get into the trades, and he's a great resource for information when it comes to making these videos. And he also started a channel teaching people how to get into the trades, so I'll put that down in the description and the pinned comment below, and you can check that out. And you can subscribe to his channel if you're interested in more information on this, because I'm probably not going to do that many videos on the trades. And then additionally, Course Careers just launched their trade career courses, and they're absolutely crushing it right now. Now, I've known the owner of Course Careers, Troy, for years, and they're doing some amazing work helping people transition into high-paying careers without incurring college debt. Just as an example, when they launched their IT Help Desk course, they helped a ton of people get into IT. Some people in as little as 7 days, 10 days, and 12 days, and I actually interviewed those people on this channel. And the opportunities are always best right when they launch a course, and they're doing the same exact thing with trade career courses that just launched. And I genuinely think their programs are great, so if you want to fast track your way into a lot of the trade careers that I'm about to mention, or just get your foot in the door working in a professional trade career, then go ahead and check out their free introductory courses, which I'll put down in the description and the pinned comment below. All right, so now let's talk about how I put this list together. I looked at median salaries based on the latest data, but I also projected job growth over the next decade and job satisfaction ratings from actual workers. And then I'm also going to talk about X factors like the physical demand on your body. And I specifically focused on trades that you can enter within 2 years, meaning you could graduate high school and be making a full-time salary within 24 months. And many of these trades you can actually enter right away and get apprenticeship positions and make a really good amount of money pretty much immediately. And I've also eliminated trades that destroy your body by age 40, because what's the point of making good money if you're in constant pain? So with that in mind, number 10 is going to be a welder. Now, according to Glassdoor, the median total pay for welders is around $65,000 a year with a base pay of $54,000. Now, when it comes to the trades, the median total pay is usually drastically off from the actual money that you make. And also keep in mind that the pay rises depending on where you live. And the reason for this is because trades are what's known as essential. So just as an example, if you are working in an area that has very high cost of living, a place like San Francisco, for instance, usually your salary is going to increase with the cost of living significantly. Whereas there's some jobs that are kind of just nice to have where the salary doesn't increase nearly as much. Now let's talk about the pros. Generally speaking, you don't need a licensure or an apprenticeship to start. Now, this type of thing varies based on the state you live in, the region you live in, whether it's union or non-union, etc. So this is something that you need to check out, and it's as simple as literally just looking it up on AI, and it's probably going to give you the correct answer, or at least point you to a place that is going to give you the correct answer. But with that being said, it's very easy to start, and the ceiling is extremely high if you specialize in something like underwater welding, where you can easily make over $100,000 a year. Now, the cons here is the base salary is lower than some of the others on the list, and it does take a physical toll over time. And the growth rate is also below average compared to other trades at around 5%. So this one might be very good for you if you're entrepreneurial and you're willing to specialize or travel ideal for work because welding offers much higher income potential than the median suggests. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, Shane, why would Glassdoor say that welders make this amount when they actually make more? Well, a lot of the time in the trades, you actually get paid in cash. And I think you can kind of put two and two together here. When you get paid in cash, you're not always going to report it to the government. Not that I'm condoning that at all, but it's just the reality. All right, quick break. This Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'm doing a one-time only workshop where I talk about the AI content advantage for leads and sales. And this is where I'm going to show you exactly how I got this plaque right here and how I've made a ton of money making content on social media. And you can check it out down in the description and the pinned comment below. At this workshop, I'm going to be giving away my no-click scriptwriter GPT. And this is a tool that I've been working on for a very long time. And just by talking to it, kind of like a friend, you can make content. And you can make original content that doesn't sound like it's AI slop. So you basically talk to it for as little as 10 to 30 seconds, and it will give you a great script that you can use for any kind of content, including YouTube. And this is a GPT-powered piece of software that I've been working on, and it's been trained on thousands of hours of my teaching, my scripts, my coaching, my videos, my students' videos, and more. And I'm giving it away for this one time only at the workshop. So make sure you show up. Click the link in the description in the pinned comment below. If you don't show up to the workshop, you will never be able to get it again. And when you're done registering, make sure you click on the add this to your calendar button so it'll show up in your Google, Apple, or Outlook calendar so you can make sure that you won't miss the chance to grab the no-click scriptwriter GPT. I'm going to be showing you this new opportunity. It's completely free and it's amazing whether you basically want to use it to get a better job, use it to network, use it to make some passive income, start a side hustle, make a full-time income, or even start a full-on business. It works incredibly well with all of those and it's completely free. And you'll also be able to ask me questions live. So I look forward to meeting you. See you Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Oh. Whoops. All right, next on the list is going to be a heavy equipment operator, and they have a total pay of $75,000 according to the latest Glassdoor data. So in this position, you'll operate cranes, bulldozers, and other massive machines for construction projects. And the pay varies significantly based on specialization. For instance, crane operators in major cities can make well into the six figures. Now, the main downside to this one is there's a lot of liability, so you do need licensure and apprenticeship, which does take longer to get started. And it's also extremely high stress work. One mistake could cause massive damage or even injure someone. But with projected growth around 12%, this field has very strong future prospects. Number 8 is a classic, and that is plumber. And they make around $76,000 a year, according to Glassdoor. And this field has a stellar 15% projected growth rate. Now, plumbing remains one of the most reliable trades because 1, you can find work literally anywhere. 2, the work is relatively consistent year-round. And 3, when you're ready, starting your own business can easily push you into the six-figure territory. Now, the downsides are a lot of the time apprenticeship is a requirement and it does have moderate physical demands. But plumbers who own their own businesses and hire a few employees often report incomes of over $150,000 a year. And that makes this one of the trades with the best long-term income potential, and it's extremely stable. All right, next is my brother's trade, and that is HVAC, and specifically HVAC technician. And they make around $73,000 a year. Now, HVAC has some big advantages. First of all, there's no formal apprenticeship requirement in most places, and there's massive demand due to climate issues and new construction. And I'm very familiar with this one because my brother actually owns an HVAC business and I've helped him with his business many times. Now, the main challenge with HVAC is seasonality, right? You might be extremely swamped in certain times of the year. If you're in a hot region, for instance, you're going to be extremely swamped during the summer. Or if you're in a colder region, you're likely going to be very swamped during the winter, or vice versa. And this makes scaling a business very tricky because you have these extreme fluctuations and you might hire people, but then you have no work for them. But if you're willing to deal with seasonal fluctuations, HVAC offers excellent income potential, especially if you specialize in commercial systems. And the seasonality actually creates a big barrier to entry to other people, which means it's a bit of a moat for you. And additionally, it's going to be quite easy for you to get a job during the busy season because a lot of the time, HVAC businesses are going to need a lot of people. So it's really easy for you to get some experience. All right, coming in at number 6 is not a traditional trade career, but it is technically a trade career, and that is a dental hygienist. And they pay around $128,000 a year, according to Glassdoor. Now, this might surprise you since it's not what people typically think of as a trade, but it does fit our criteria. And with this one, you can complete training in about 2 years, though many programs are closer to 3, and it does offer excellent pay with minimal physical demands. Now, the main downside is the longer educational requirement compared to other trades, but the compensation does make up for this. And also, it's one of the least physically demanding options, meaning you could have a much longer career career without destroying your body. And that is seriously an important thing to keep in mind because, I was a pharmacist in my former career before I started my business. And I, worked with a lot of patients that were in the trades. And they, in many cases, unfortunately had to take painkillers because they worked in certain trades that are very physically demanding. So it's definitely something that you want to keep in mind. And obviously, if you are someone who, is very physical, you have a lot of muscle, you're big, it's going to be something you don't have to worry about as much. All right, number 5 on the list is elevator installer and repairer. Now, this one's interesting because Glassdoor data shows a range with elevator installers making around $58,000 a year and repair specialists making around $64,000. Now, this does seem low compared to some of my research from other sources. For instance, there's certain sources that say they make over $92,000 a year. Now, to be honest with you, this is very likely because many people do this part-time. As an elevator repairer, usually elevators are working completely fine, and you basically just have to do maintenance on them, and then once in a while, you'll have to repair them. But if an elevator breaks down, you're probably gonna have to be on call to fix it. So it's very likely many people are doing this part-time, which is why they're reporting lower salaries. However, when you ask people in the trades which career they wish they'd chosen, this one comes up constantly. The pay is excellent, the work is varied, installation, maintenance, emergency repair, etc., and it combines electrical and mechanical skills. Now, the downside includes apprenticeship requirement, which usually takes about 3 to 4 years if you go the union route, and you have to potentially be ready for on-call work for emergency repairs. So if an elevator breaks in the middle of the night, you might end up getting a call. Well, it's probably not going to happen very often. And of course, there's also an element of danger since you're working with systems that could literally crush you if something goes wrong. But the pay to education ratio is incredible. For less than 2 years of initial training, you're looking at a high-paying job once you complete your apprenticeship, with many making well over $100,000 a year with overtime or specialization. All right, number 4 on the list is going to be electrician with a total pay of $74,000 a year according to Glassdoor. Now, this is another field where the ceiling is much higher than the median suggests. Electricians are in massive demand right now because of 3 major trends. 1, aging infrastructure that needs upgrading. 2, the green energy transition requiring new electrical systems. And 3, home automation and EV charging installation. Now, the downsides include apprenticeship requirements typically and obvious safety concerns. Electricity is pretty dangerous, but the work is less physically demanding than plumbing or HVAC, meaning you can have a longer career. Now, what I particularly like about this career is the variety of paths. Residential, commercial, industrial, and specialized niches like solar installation or data centers. And electricians who start their own businesses or specialize in high-demand areas often report incomes of $100,000 to even over $150,000 a year. And this is another one of those trade careers that a lot of tradespeople say that they wish they would have gone into. What's happening, guys? In the editing process of this video, and I have an opportunity for a select group of people. So these are people who are serious about growing their personal brand on YouTube. So basically, we figured out recently how to grow a personal brand and combine all the upsides of a personal brand with the upsides of automation, right? Using AI, using things like this to basically grow your personal brand 10 times faster, which in the past used to take decades to do. And now you can do it significantly faster. And you can do this to get a better job. We work with beginners that just want to get a better job with their personal brand. You can do this to make money as a side hustle. We work with a lot of people like that. We can do this to make more money if you already have a side hustle or a small business. Or if you're already crushing it on YouTube, we can help you crush it 10 times more. We've worked with people like that as well. I literally can show clients at each level. People that we've gotten from 0 to over 10K, 0 to like over 30K, from like 1K per month all the way up to 185K per month, from around 30K per month all the way up to over 500K per month. So literally at every single level, and it works for everyone in every situation. With that being said, we are only working with 3 to 5 people, and they have to be people who are very serious, right? People who are dedicated to making this work. So if you think you're that type of person, go ahead and apply it down in the description and the pinned comment below, and you could be part of our group of 3 to 5 that we help. So see you there. Have a good one. All right, number 3 on our list is another one that's not typically associated with trade careers, but that is sonographer. And this might also be referred to as an ultrasound technician. And they have a total pay of $119,000 according to Glassdoor. Now, I think one of the reasons why these non-traditional trade careers seem like they pay so much better is because of the fact that they probably do not get paid in cash. Whereas in reality, a lot of the other trade careers on the list probably make around the same amount, but they just get a significant amount of it in cash. Now, this is a huge jump from just a few few years ago. Now, just in case you weren't aware, sonographers operate imaging equipment that visualizes the inside of the human body for diagnostic purposes. And this isn't just for pregnancies. They work in cardiology, vascular medicine, and many other specialties. Now, the advantages are massive here. No licensure or apprenticeship requirements in most states, minimal physical demands, and exceptional job stability. And healthcare trades consistently show the strongest growth and stability with projected growth around 16%. Now, the only real downsides here is patient interaction, which might not appeal to extreme introverts. But if you're comfortable with working with people and you want a clean, relatively low-stress environment with excellent pay, sonography is hard to beat. And with specialization and experience, you can make even more money, especially in certain areas like cardiac or vascular sonography. Now, by the way, guys, drop a comment below telling me which of these look the most interesting to you, or if you're in trade careers, drop a comment below commenting how much money you're making and which trade career you wish you would have gone into. All right, next, number 2 is going to be radiation therapist. And they have a total pay of, wait for it, $128,000 a year on average, according to Glassdoor. Now, that is absolutely wild considering I got paid around $120,000 a year, but I had to get a freaking doctorate and become a pharmacist in order to get that kind of pay. And by the way, basically what they do here is radiation therapists operate machines that deliver targeted radiation treatments to cancer patients, typically. And the salary is outstanding, right? The growth is also really good, around 11%, and it offers the satisfaction of directly helping patients in their fight against cancer. So obviously this one might be a little bit emotionally taxing because you're working with seriously ill patients daily, and the education requirement, which is typically around 2 years plus licensure. But the compensation makes this well worth it, especially if you're someone who has thick skin and you want to help people that are in need. And this career also offers excellent stability and reasonable working hours compared to many healthcare roles. And with experience and specialization, senior radiation therapists can make well over the 100K mark. Now, by the way, if you're watching this video and you're looking for a job for yourself, maybe you found it, maybe you didn't find it in this video, but you think that somebody else might be good for one of these jobs, go ahead and share this video with them. I get tons of comments on this channel from people like grandmas that shared the video with their grandson, or people saying that a friend shared this video with them. And I love seeing those comments because there's not enough good information out there about the available careers and the available ways to make money. All right, so number 1, and this is one that I have never mentioned on this channel before, and this is the highest paying trade career, at least according to government data, is going to be cybersecurity technician. Now, you might be thinking, Shane, this isn't a trade career. Cybersecurity, don't you need to be some kind of computer nerd to do this? Well, unlike traditional cybersecurity roles that require computer science degrees or something like that, there's now a growing segment that's focused on practical implementation rather than theoretical computer science. And these roles involve installing, configuring, and maintaining security systems for businesses. And with a median income of around $75,000 and an absolutely insane explosive growth rate of 32% in the next 10 years, this field is absolutely on fire. Now, the reason why this one is the highest paying, in my opinion, is because this is just an entry-level role, and there's roles you can go into down the line that pay significantly more, even over $200,000 a year. And the most amazing thing is that many of these roles don't require a computer science degree, just certifications like CompTIA Security Plus that can be completed in months, not years. And with cyber attacks increasing exponentially and new regulations requiring businesses to implement security measures, the demand for these skills is through the roof. And best of all, many of these roles can be done remotely, giving you location flexibility that most trades simply don't offer. Now, one thing I will mention with cybersecurity technicians is sometimes they're going to be on site, and sometimes there will actually be some physical security stuff that you're doing. But this is a really good way to get your foot in the door and, start off as a cybersecurity technician, but then move into higher level roles down the line. Now, I'm going to mention a few that did not make it on this list, but they're still really good. One of them is renewable energy technician. They make about $68,000 a year, and they have a 52% projected growth rate over the next decade. Absolutely insane. Another one is an automation technician. They make around $72,000 a year, and there's an 18% projected growth rate. Another one is a medical equipment repair technician. They make around $59,000 a year with a 17% growth rate. All right, guys, like I mentioned before, check out the new courses that Course Careers just dropped, and also check out my brother's channel. I'm actually going to link a video that he put up on trade careers right here.